I was first diagnosed with cancer when I was 7 years old, and having it at 7 years old, a lot of people would think that it's much more tougher than having it as a teenager, but it really isn't that way at all. I didn't know much at 7 years old. I just knew that I had this disease that I had to beat, and I had to beat it quickly. All I knew was that it didn't affect me that much back then. I lost very little hair, and I didn't get sick at all. And before I knew it, it was over, and I could start living my life again. Then it was the summer of my sophomore year, and I began getting terrible migraines, terrible headaches, and before I knew it, I was being rushed to the hospital. The doctors were running tests on me for days. They couldn't find out what I had, and on my 16th birthday, they told me that I got diagnosed with cancer again. They found the cancer from a lumbar puncture, and when they looked at the fluid through my spine, they found all these cancer cells, and they were like, "That's what you have." Just like when I was a little kid, I thought, this is going to be easy, I'm going to get through it. It's going to be, probably a year, and I'm going to be fine. I was so stubborn. I was stubborn when the doctors told me, you're going to lose your hair. I was stubborn when the doctors told me that it was going to be much more aggressive this time. I was the definition of that stubborn teenage girl. Little did I know that everything they said was right, and don't let this wig fool you. I lost all my hair in one night, and I began losing weight rapidly. I lost 60 pounds in about 3 months. And when I started noticing that, a part of me gave up. I told myself, you know what, I obviously thought this for a reason, and I'm just going to give up. And it was during the time that I was taking my first steps I had taken in a while. It was during the time that my mother was bathing me that I told myself that that girl wasn't me. And I remember telling myself that in the mirror. And I remember my mother telling me, if you don't fight this, you're not going to get through it. And we really don't want to lose you. Everyone loves you. So it took me a while, but I got over it. I put on my big girl jeans and I said, you know what, it could be way, way worse. It could be a lot worse. And I never really envisioned why I got diagnosed again. But one thing I can tell you is that I don't regret it at all. It made me the woman I am today. It made me closer to my family and my parents. I was never close to them. And I regret that, but I love that this happened to me for me to grow closer to them. It made me have a lot more faith in God, and I wasn't, I've always been a Christian, but I wasn't very close to God before. And I just don't regret it at all. And I want to tell you that if you're going through this, or if you're a family member or even a friend and know someone that's going through this, I'm here to tell you that you can get